EGM Network.
Welcome to the Lori Davis Show, where it's all about the amazing lifestyle on our Treasure Coast. And here's your host and realtor for life, Lori Davis.
Hello, and welcome to the show. We are so glad to have you guys here today. We've got a lot of energy. We got a lot of female energy in the house. We have two of my favorite ladies. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's October now. So we are going to be talking about what you need to do. We find that the more we talk about it, which I think is a good thing, that people are now finally talking about it. One of our guests mentions that you couldn't even talk about it until it was Betty Ford that brought it to the forefront of everyone's attention. And then all of a sudden, it's okay to talk about breasts. It's okay to talk about cancer and primarily women, but it does affect men.
Yep.
So that's something we all need to remember, too. And that's going to be one of my questions for my guests. But let's introduce our guests. We have two fabulous ladies in the house. We have Nancy Baker, MD. She is a founder of Coastal Complete Direct Primary Care. She is a family practice physician who believes in a whole person approach to medicine. I am a patient, as well as our other guest. Welcome, Nancy.
Thanks for having me, Lori.
She is a mother of two beautiful children, a wife, and a great friend. Our additional guest is an esteemed guest, an amazing.
I'm already laughing.
No, I'm not going to do it. No, I'd never say that. No, I'm just kidding. She is a wonderful woman, an amazing philanthropist, wife, mother of four amazing children.
Leader.
What's that?
A leader.
She is a leader. Well, she leads. If you put her in charge, she will lead.
She's something. I don't know who she is, but she sounds amazing.
You want to meet her?
I want to meet her.
Okay. She's an awesome friend and my tennis partner, Tracey Zudans. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So fun to be here.
Yay. So, what I wanted to talk about, Nancy is, and we'll tell everyone, she is a breast cancer survivor. And Tracey, by way of her mother, was affected by it. By way of my mother, I've been affected by it. Cindy, we're talking, had an in-law that's affected by it. I think if you talk to anybody, anywhere, somewhere, somehow, you're going to find someone who has been affected by this.
Yeah, my dad had breast cancer.
That's one of the things I want to talk about. So we can start with that, Nancy. I mean, that is such a thing that people don't realize, that men can get breast cancer. How did they find out about it? Can you tell us a little about that?
1% of breast cancer is male. So, I mean, overwhelmingly, it's a female disease, but it's not zero. Mm-hmm. And we, so back in 2003, which is a very long time ago now,
it seems.
But, I'm a physician and I stayed on top of current things. And we had a really strong family history of other cancers. So my dad's sister had ovarian cancer. His brother had colon cancer and his other brother had prostate cancer. And I learned about genetic cancer syndromes and we tested for the BRCA mutation.
Okay.
And my dad had it and I have it as well. And so my dad used to come to my house. The way we found out all of this is he used to come to my house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And he'd take off his shirt because we are pasty white Irish people. And he'd be like, what do I show the dermatologist? Like, what do I have them burn off my body?
Yeah,
and that's probably, what's a skin cancer?
Yeah.
And he had a little ditzel on his nipple. And he's like, what is that? And I felt it, and there was a lump.
You mean like a dimple?
Like a discoloration of the skin.
A discoloration, okay.
And he, very technical term.
Okay,
sorry.
I didn't know.
And he had skin discoloration. So, of course, as a physician, I put my hand on it and felt it, and there was a lump. Yeah. And I was like, that's weird, Dad. You need to go to the dermatologist and get that biopsied. Now, almost 100% of male breast cancer is diagnosed by a dermatologist because they're not getting mammograms, they're not getting breast exams.
Right.
So the person who finds it, the doctor that finds it, is usually a dermatologist. Mm-hmm. So his dermatologist did a biopsy and it was confirmed that he had breast cancer. He actually had breast cancer in both his breasts. So he had a mastectomy and did chemotherapy afterwards. Mm-hmm. He lived for another 10, 11 years after he had his original disease. Fantastic. But we have that cancer gene in our family. And so there was clues to look for something like this in our family.
Right. And so you said that you guys did the BRCA test. Mm-hmm. Now, did he do that?
So he did his first. And then
it didn't show up?
No, it did. So he was diagnosed with breast cancer, and then I made him get tested.
Okay.
And then I had my aunt get tested, and my cousins and everybody, and and then I got tested. And so when you do initial testing for cancer syndromes, you do the full panel.
Yes.
But you can do site-specific testing for, like, if you have a family history of this you can look for just that.
cancer,
So that's
yeah,
what I did.
yeah.
Is I was like, my dad has this. Do I have this? And they said yes.
Right.
Now there's a special population for BRCA of Ashkenazi Jewish heritage.
Interesting.
And so they have 3 or 4 specific BRCA mutations that are super common in Ashkenazi Jews, and they have a much higher incidence of breast cancer as a population.
Interesting.
And so they actually should be screened at a higher rate than regular folks.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's the one thing I wanted to talk about, because it is in men, and you can't find it
Yeah.
in men, and it's only 1%. But if we can catch the 1%, and that's another thing about breast cancer, right?
Yeah. Well, I tell anybody that's a patient, or random people, anybody out there,
Anybody
out there,
that'll listen.
anybody that'll
talking to
listen. If you find a lump on your body, you should probably talk to a doctor about it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
lumps
No matter where it is.
overwhelmingly lumps are generally benign.
Right.
Generally you can get a lump and it's no big deal, like Dr. Pimple Popper on the TV.
Yeah.
But if you find a lump anywhere, you should show your doctor and make sure that it's not something more serious.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Tracey, tell us the story. How did it come about in your family? I guess it was your mom, and
So all the women in my family have had breast cancer in some way. And so she lost her mom. My mother lost her mother, and then she had a sister, half sisters, that kind of thing.
Wow.
So all the women had some issue with cancer. So I actually did the BRCA test on myself
Mhm.
and started doing the MRIs and the ultrasounds and all of those things starting at 32.
Okay.
And the BRCA test at the time was a very expensive test.
Mhm.
Well, that was because the gene was patented by the Myriad company that originally rolled out the testing. And in 2008, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act was rolled out and basically made it so that you can't patent genes, and you
Okay.
can't. So now the Myriad company can't have a market share, like
$3,600.
yeah.
Right.
So actually, you can go to Quest or wherever and
Really?
get a BRCA test now, and they can link it to whatever test any other lab in the country. You can link them up. So if you have a family
I
member
probably
that
should
had a
do
Myriad
that.
test, like
Yeah.
I should probably do
if
that.
your daughter Akira wanted to have a say it was positive, or you had a test anywhere done, you could just say, this is my test result at this lab, and they'll link it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they made it so it's a little bit easier to get testing.
Right.
And then so you can have a super high risk of breast cancer and not have a gene, just like she didn't have the gene, but she has a super high risk.
So I ended up not having the gene, but the reason I did it is to find markers or information for my daughter
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
and my children.
Mhm.
Because I have 3 boys and 1 girl, and if I'm a carrier, at least she can start early if she wanted to.
Right.
So if you have breast cancer, your 1st degree relatives are supposed to start screening 10 years prior to your diagnosis. So my
Okay.
daughter will have to start getting mammograms at 23 years old.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was in her 40s when she had her mastectomy, and so that's
Yeah. 10
why I
years
started
prior.
in my 30s.
Right. So now if she does not, if Tracey does not have it, the marker, and can it skip her and go right to her
Okay,
daughter?
so she could get a
Shout out to
genetic
Kira.
marker. Yeah.
Love you, baby.
Love
We love
you.
Kira. So genetics are funny because you can have hereditary things passed down, and then you can have spontaneous mutations. So we know that Tracey doesn't have it. So the statistical probability that her children has it from her, very low, but they could get it from their dad. Because you
Of
can
course.
get, so people are like, oh, well, you can't get the gene from your dad. Well, I did. My dad was the one that had breast cancer, and I got the gene from my dad.
Right. Right.
So you can get it from either parent.
Mhm.
Actually, there's a really interesting disease state. If you get both copies of the BRCA mutation from both parents, there's a special weird anemia that you develop.
Mhm.
So that, genetics are wild.
Yeah.
But you can also, these things can just happen.
Yeah.
So, finding, and one of the other interesting things is our detection has changed so much. So my original test was done in 2008.
Okay.
So my BRCA test was, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, but Dr. Crawford, who's my doctor, she was like, it's so different now. It's 2025. We're going to do it again. So they just reran my genetic testing, and they found a second marker on me.
Mhm.
So I have 2 mutations that we are watching now. And so
Right.
the one that we didn't know about in 2008.
Yeah.
So
Now, is this BRCA thing just for breast cancer?
no, BRCA is multiple cancer. So BRCA is a tumor suppressor gene. So this
Okay.
is a little bit more sciencey than you want. Just shut me up.
Okay.
'Cause,
just,
I'm a nerd.
just make it quick, but make it something everybody can understand.
Okay, so
I know you can.
everyone in their body all the time has hiccups where their body makes a funny cell,
Mhm.
and your body says that cell doesn't belong here, and it kicks it out.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
So you have tumor suppressors in your body all the time. That's why you don't run around getting cancer all the time, because we do all kinds of wild stuff and we don't, not 100% cancer rate. So if you have a mutation in a tumor suppressor gene, the tumor suppressor is turned off and so tumors can form.
I see.
So the most common malignancies that are associated with BRCA are breast and ovarian cancer, like my dad and my aunt, but also prostate cancer, my uncle, colorectal cancer, pancreatic cancer, endometrial cancer, and melanoma.
Yeah.
So,
and those seem to be the ones that everybody's getting. I mean, those are the ones I hear most.
Well, actually, the number one killer of people is lung cancer.
Right.
Is it? That's Cindy's family.
Yeah. So we actually screen for lung cancer now, too. We do low dose CT scanning on high risk individuals yearly for lung cancer screening.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was there are lots of things now. You were talking about, Tracey, different modalities that you can do to breast exam. It used to just be mammogram, right? And that was all there was. Now I did MRI because I have.
So if you have a
history.
lifetime risk of 20% or higher, and you can do the online American Cancer Society, American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, ACOG, they have a calculator online, and it's called the Gale Breast Cancer Risk Model. If you have a 20% lifetime risk of breast cancer, your insurance company is mandated to cover an MRI.
Right.
MRI screening is superior to breast imaging other ways. It's just not cost effective, and it's a lot more work because it's 45 minutes in a scanner with contrast.
Right.
But also they recently changed coverage that anyone with dense breasts now you get an ultrasound too. And it used to be that we would get them denied all the time.
Right.
And I'd want an ultrasound for someone with dense breasts because you can't find it because it's hidden.
Yeah.
And so now mammogram with ultrasound tends to be standard of care. And then anyone with super high risk gets an MRI.
I think that's great.
When do you recommend the different tests?
Yes.
So I always try to do each modality once a year, but separate them by 6 months.
Okay.
That way you're having a look at the tissue 6 months apart, so you're not going a full calendar year.
Yeah.
So especially high-risk individuals, I like say you'll do your ultrasound in June and your MRI in December.
Yeah.
And then each year you only do one a year,
Right.
but you're looking at the breast twice a year.
Right. And is it still the medical annually for women, or is it like if you?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Yeah, unless you have an abnormal test and the radiologist says you have to do more frequent screening.
Right. And is it still, do you start at 40 years old? Was that the number?
So it used to be that it was 40 and now it's 45, but there's multiple experts. There's the people that sit in like rooms at tables with like actuarial stuff and they're like, okay, well, you should do this. And the United States Preventive Services Task Force is different than the American Cancer Society recommendations. So I tend to be a little bit more conservative, shockingly.
Not shocked.
And so I tend to start at 40 and I do annually, but that you can start at 45 or even 50 and go biannually. In fact, in Europe, you start at 50 and you go every 2 years until your 75th birthday. And for me, I don't stop screening unless I think you don't have a 5-year life expectancy.
Right.
So if you're 80 years old and I think you're going to make it to 85, I offer you a mammogram because if you would do something to prolong your life, I still offer that.
Why would you? Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what I wanted to do in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month is to thank Chef Scott Varicchio from Citrus Grill House for our pink cocktail. We can't forget citrus. Gotta love them. They brought us a pink cocktail today. This is a Cosmopolitan, and as Tracey said when we first poured this and tasted it, they make such a great Cosmopolitan over there.
They really do.
And Alex, who is head in charge of beverage and helps obviously with all the food and ordering and stuff, he said, well, I'm going to do it with orange vodka. It's still going to be pink. Because I was like, wait, no, not orange. I said something pink. And he goes, orange vodka. And I was like, wait, whoa, what? Anyway, it is pink, but it is pink. Delicious. And it is a delicious.
We love a pink drink.
Who doesn't? We have to. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
I'd do this anyway.
Anyway, thank you, Chef Scott Varicchio at Citrus Grill House. That's at 1050 Easter Lily Lane, you guys. You need to go over there. It's right there at Humiston Park, right on the ocean. We had lunch yesterday. Another shout out to Kira, Tracey, and I had a great lunch out on the patio yesterday.
Truffle fries.
Those sweet potatoes.
Was that? I told somebody else about that today. Sweet potato wedges.
I'm sorry. There's nothing better than truffle fries at Citrus Grill.
Truffle fries are great, but wait till you try these sweet potatoes. The story was that they wanted 12 potatoes, sweet potatoes, and they got 12 pounds. So there's now a special hot sweet potato fries.
But they were
They were like
phenomenal.
wedges. It wasn't like French fries. It was delicious. It was very different. And they had like a garlic butter
I've
on it.
never had a bad meal there. Everything is delicious.
It's
I
so good.
never have
it's
as
so
well.
very
Yeah.
good. Anyways, 1050 Easter Lily Lane. Go over and see Citrus House. We love it over there. If it's
Got
not
a
fresh,
beautiful view.
they're not serving it. Great view. Staff is amazing.
Yep.
So, and there's always a special. There's always something delicious. So anyway, thank you very much for our
Thanks, Chef Scott.
our adult beverage here in the house. So, now, Nancy, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your specific journey here because we're talking about it. We've talked a little bit about people and, looking out for it, whatever. How did you find it? Or did you
so
go
for
in?
me, it was pretty scary
Mhm.
because my mom had had a DCIS tumor when I was in college. And so she had a breast lump that was removed that was like precancerous. Now they would call it stage 0 cancer, but back then they called it precancer. And so she had had a breast lump removed and her sister had breast cancer. So I had it on my mom's side.
Mhm.
And then my dad had breast cancer when I was pregnant with my son. And so that back in 2003, 2004. And so I knew that there was super high risk coming on both sides. But I wanted to breastfeed my children
Right.
and, I wasn't ready to sort of deal with it. So you can't really do breast imaging while you're nursing. And
Yeah.
I had been pregnant and nursing and then pregnant and nursing
Yes.
because my kids are 20 months apart.
Yep.
And so as soon as I stopped nursing my daughter, I had to wait 6 months because you have to wait a little bit of time
Yes.
to image after nursing.
Yep.
And my very first mammogram had a mass on it and it was adjacent to my chest wall. So it wasn't something that would be palpable.
Right.
We call it when you can't feel it.
Yeah.
And so then I ended up getting all sorts of tests done. And then I went, at that time, back in 2008, BRCA was really sort of new.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really have, Angelina Jolie didn't have it, so it wasn't cool yet.
Right.
And so,
oh my God, it's true.
Betty Ford means nothing.
I know, right?
So when I went over to Moffitt Cancer Center, they had a whole BRCA clinic and they have a tissue bank over there so you can donate your tissue for study and research.
Mhm.
And so as a clinician and as a scientist, I was like, I want to go do that.
I know.
And so I went over to have my surgeries and reconstructive surgeries at Moffitt.
Mhm. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember too, it was a real struggle because you were now begun this whole journey in breast cancer and you've got babies.
So my daughter was 18 months old and my son was 3.5. And
it's emotionally enough.
I would go sit in the lobby at Moffitt and I'd be sitting in the waiting room and all these little old ladies would be like, are you here with your mother? And I'd be like, no, I'm the patient. Because at 33, you don't assume that person, but young people can have cancer.
Yeah, they can.
And, especially nowadays, we are better at finding it and we're better at screening. We're better at talking about it.
Yes.
Especially like we were talking about colorectal cancer.
Yeah.
Super important to get screening younger now.
Yeah.
So that was really tough. Megan, my little one, was still in a crib. And so we figured out that she could jump on my back like a spider monkey instead of me lifting her because I couldn't
pick up
and my
anything.
son,
Sounds like Megan.
yeah.
It does. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Our little spider monkey.
Yeah. And Thomas used to say that mommy had T-Rex arms because I couldn't lift anything.
Right.
And so, so the two of them adjusted.
Yeah.
I had lots and lots of help. I had wonderful friends
Yeah.
who took care of me. And like this lady right here.
Yeah.
And the First Baptist Church made like meals. It's before there was a meal train.
Yeah.
Rick used to joke that it was the First Baptist green bean competition because every night we had green beans.
Green bean
for
casserole.
life.
And shout out to Leanne Singleton who won the green bean
She
competition.
did. Oh, there you go. Shout out Leanne.
Yeah. So
Why don't I remember her?
whenever someone has an illness like this or has to go through something like this, your village matters. And
Yes.
that is really important
Absolutely.
and I think that, talking about it, suffering on your own, no one's going to win any sort of prizes. You don't get any sort of bonus points in heaven for suffering. And sharing that people want to help.
They
like,
do. They
people want
definitely
to.
do.
I had wonderful people like Cindy Getz brought me button down pajamas and they were like satiny.
Yeah.
And they were like the greatest like recovery gift ever because you just
Absolutely.
slide into the bed or whatever.
That's
And,
it. Shout out to Cindy
Yeah.
Getz. That's how the whole thing
people-
started, Cindy Getz. It's all your fault that I'm here today.
Yeah. But I mean, like people would do lovely things,
Yeah.
and having a village really helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to be back with Tracey Zudans and Nancy Baker here in the house. We have to pay for this with a couple commercials. We'll be right back. So glad you guys could be here. We'll be right back and see you in a second.
At Evergreen Media, we know the people. the businesses, and the work needed to take your marketing to the next level. We know where locals go to shop, work, and have fun.
We're here to focus on your local advertising so you can focus on your business. This is our home. This is our business. Evergreen Media. We market, you grow.
You'll scream with delight at Little Shop of Horrors, the outlandishly funny sci-fi musical opening the new season at the beautiful Riverside Theater in Vero Beach. Seymour, a timid flower shop clerk, discovers a mysterious plant with an appetite for fame, fortune, and human blood. With a rockin' pop score, this cult classic will have you laughing, gasping, and singing along. Little Shop of Horrors is now playing. Get your best tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats, and chairs in the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Four Seasons, Braxton, Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of American-made Telescope, Berlin Gardens, Lloyd Flanders, and Hollywood, all with no tariff ever. And we also specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Right now, we're having a huge floor sample sale with lots of great markdowns on everything you need for your Florida home, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. And visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Hey guys, we've got Tracey Zudans and Dr. Nancy Baker in the house. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so we're talking about all the good things you can do to stay healthy. And, you know, when you're healthy, then there's a track you can take. And Tracey, we were talking about being advocate.
Yeah, you have to be your strongest advocate. So you need to ask the doctor what you can do if there's testing available for you. You know, don't just wait till there's a sign. Be proactive about the whole thing. Like,
Right.
For me, I knew it ran in my family. So Nancy's been my physician forever. And so I went to her and said, I want to do something different. So like I chose a different path because I wanted to regraft that particular situation in my family. So there are certain things you can do to do that.
So I definitely advocate for people to talk to their doctor, because doctors nowadays get very little time with their patients.
Yes.
And we have so many things that we need to cover. And making sure that you show up to your doctor with like a list.
I think it's great.
And I think as a physician, I love it. I'm like, let's look at your list. Let's make sure we hit every bullet on that thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, I'm very blessed because I can take a little bit more time with my patients.
That's
but even
correct.
when I was doing regular traditional medicine, you know, I would say like, let's make another appointment. Let's work on this, or let's make that order. Because, you know, they are so overwhelmed with all the things that they have to do. Being an advocate for yourself is the best way to take care of yourself.
Definitely.
And Tracey, definitely not shy. She'll
Nope.
tell you what she needs.
No.
But I think also, you know, advocating for like showing up for your family and for your friends and talking about it and saying, hey, you should talk to your doctor about a breast MRI. I saw that on Lori's show.
Yes.
Maybe you qualify for that. Or do the calculator online yourself and say, I did this calculator. I need this test.
I'm over 20%. I could get an MRI, you know? I mean, I think that everything that's ever been found on me was found in an MRI. It was not found in a mammogram.
Yeah.
Not going to say it just was. And
it's a superior test.
It is a superior test. And, you know, you got dense breast, you know, there's all the reasons, you all got all the things.
sure.
But, well, listen, we wanted to thank you both for being here on the show.
Yeah.
Nancy Baker, you're always an October guest. You know you will be. And she requested that she get to be with Tracey and I on the show because we have so much fun.
Favorite people.
I know. It's a good jam, right?
Yeah.
It feels
we could
good.
go for another hour.
We are 100%. 100%.
We need like a podcast.
Part 2.
Yeah, part 2. Breast Cancer Awareness Part 2. Maybe at the end of the month. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here,
Thank you
Tracey.
for having
It's always a
us.
pleasure, Nancy.
I think it's great that you use this platform to educate and help people.
100%. And I just wanted, and that's why, you know, sometimes I say we just have to give it to them in with the manner that they understand. But you would just say if you had any questions, so call your doctor.
Yeah.
Correct?
Call your doctor.
Call your doctor, set up an appointment, get on in to see him.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thanks for being here, guys. You know what? Be safe out there. It's Breast Cancer Awareness. Talk to it about with your friends and go see a doc and ask any questions if you have them. Be great. Be safe. We'll see you here next week. Talk to you soon.